Welcome to the deep dive. This week, we're really diving into a mix of sources that just paint a picture of professional golf right now. It's high drama, some amazing wins, and some frankly huge financial numbers. A lot of it orbits around let's call it the fallout from the Ryder Cup at Bethpage. But it spins out pretty quickly into the bigger global competition and the money side of things. Our mission today, cut through that noise, give you the context, and sort of explain why the whole structure feels a bit precarious.
Yeah, precarious is a good word.
Mhm.
Because the material we've got, it's got this real split personality, hasn't it? You've got these genuinely inspiring stories, first-time winners, guys coming back from nowhere, pure sport. But then right alongside that, you have this really serious kind of ugly organizational mess, fan behavior, apologies from the top brass, people openly talking about selling off the Ryder Cup. It's the soul of the game versus the business and politics of it all.
Okay, let's get into it. And yeah, we have to start with the Ryder Cup. Bethpage. The atmosphere wasn't just intense, it sounds like it got genuinely hostile, to the point where, and this is pretty wild, the European team actually had a plan, discussed beforehand, to protest the crowd. And not just a quiet word, we're talking about downing tools, basically stopping play temporarily if they felt fans were deliberately messing with players during a shot. Imagine needing a preemptive plan like that against the home fans.
It says a lot, doesn't it, about the environment and maybe the security situation. Matt Fitzpatrick confirmed it. He said, the team agreed we won't hit until they stop shouting on backswings. So not threatening to walk off entirely, he clarified that. But still
a major line in the sand.
Exactly. A direct challenge, really, to the organizers' control.
And speaking of the organizers, the PGA of America president, Don Rea, he found himself in a bit of hot water, didn't he? His first reaction, trying to say it was sort of like Rome in 2023, that both sides thing that didn't land well.
Not at all. It needed a pretty quick backtrack. The organization basically had to go on an apology tour. Rea sent out a letter to PGA members, this time calling the behavior disrespectful and inappropriate, unequivocal.
Right. Had to be firm. But it wasn't just a general apology, was it? There was something more specific involving Rory McIlroy.
Yes, that's right. The CEO, Derek Sprague, said a separate direct apology to Rory and his wife, Erica. The sources mentioned a litany of insults and a near miss with a beverage can.
Wow. A beverage can. That's beyond heckling. That's dangerous.
Absolutely. It moves into a different category entirely. And it fuels that sense of things being out of control.
And the players noticed the contradictions, too. Fitzpatrick pushed back hard on Rea, comparing Bethpage to Rahm, calling it pretty offensive.
He did. He acknowledged some comments directed at him were, hilarious, apparently, about his shoes and braces. But he stressed what Rory and his family faced was 10 times worse. He made that distinction very clear.
Okay, so context. Pressure building, apologies flying, team trailing badly. And this is where the story takes a, let's say, surprising turn regarding the leadership's focus. Don Rea, Saturday night.
Yeah, the karaoke. Singing Eminem's Lose Yourself at the team hotel karaoke night.
While this is swirling.
While the media storm is building, while apologies are clearly needed, while his team is down 7 points. Yeah, definitely, as the sources say, raised eyebrows among families and guests there.
You can see why. It's hard to square that image, the head of the organization seemingly detached, enjoying karaoke, while there's this crisis unfolding around player safety and event management, the nickname floating around, not very slim and lightly shady.
Look, maybe it was an attempt to keep spirits up. Maybe it was just ill-timed. But it certainly adds to the narrative of a disconnect, doesn't it, between the seriousness of the situation and the leadership's response at that moment.
A huge disconnect. Now, flip side of that coin, the European reaction, no karaoke, but definitely singing.
Oh, yeah. Pure celebration. The Europe's Ryder Cup party bus stuff went viral, didn't it? Luke Donald, the players, singing Europe's on fire, the USA is petrified.
To the tune of Freed from Desire, classic. And Bob MacIntyre leading 500 miles.
Proper Scottish celebration there, just pure joy. And actually, that takes us nicely into the next part, because MacIntyre carried that form right over. Literally days later, he wins the Alfred Dunhill Links Championship, back home in Scotland. Wins by 4 shots, 18 under. Okay, it was weather shortened to 3 days, but still an incredible follow-up.
And his preparation secrets? Hilarious. He basically said he ditched any idea of careful recovery, admitted his diet was terrible, plenty takeaways, fish and chips. Love that honesty, just enjoying the win.
You have to, right? And credit to Tyrrell Hatton, too, finishing second. His record at St. Andrews is just, well, the source calls it an absurd stretch. 3 wins there already, shares the course record.
He just loved that place.
Seems so. And while the young guns were winning, there was also a nice moment for a veteran, Nicholas Colsaerts.
Ah, yes, his 500th start on the DP World Tour. Planning to retire soon, family walking the 18th with him. That's a lovely touch.
It is. And interestingly, Colsaerts himself had weighed in earlier on the Ryder Cup security issue. He basically said, look, it's not the player's job to point out who needs ejecting.
Makes sense.
He said, as soon as you say something stupid, you're out. Simple as that. Security should handle it. Let the players play.
That tension again between the game itself and the management around it, which brings us squarely to the money and some eye-watering numbers.
Yeah, the big one financially this week. Livy Golf Ltd., that's the entity running their non-U.S. operations. The loss reported for 2024, $461.8 million.
461 million pounds sterling. That's like, what, nearly $600 million U.S.
About $590 million.
Yeah.
Just a staggering amount of money to lose in 1 year.
It really puts the scale of their investment or their spending into perspective. Trying to build a global league from scratch, signing players, that's the cost right there.
It's the cost of disruption, absolutely. And it fuels the debate about sustainability, long-term viability,
Yeah.
all of that.
And does this huge spending, combined with the Ryder Cup issues, impact how people view events like the Ryder Cup itself? We're hearing calls to maybe sell it or license it.
Definitely. That conversation is happening because the PGA of America, who run it in the U.S., they're a nonprofit. And when you have these issues, the ticket prices, the crowds, the fan behavior failures at Bethpage, the argument becomes maybe they can't handle an event this massive anymore.
And that 87% figure.
That online poll finding, yeah, 87% reacting negatively to how the European players, particularly Rory, were treated. That adds serious fuel to the fire for change, suggesting maybe a commercial entity focused purely on event management and security should take over.
The whole structure feels like it's under a microscope.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's shift gears, though. Let's park the organizational angst for a second and talk about some genuinely brilliant individual moments on the course, the stuff that reminds you why you watch golf. Absolutely. And we have some great ones. Stephen Fisk winning on the PGA Tour for the first time. Sanderson Farms Championship. Finished 20 under. What a story.
Total perseverance, right. Years on the mini tours, which is just a brutal grind. Injuries, money worries, just keeping the dream alive. That win means everything.
It really does. And then, maybe even more heartwarming for some, Tommy Gainey. 2 gloves.
The homie, 2 gloves.
At 50.
Wins his first PGA Tour Champions title. Fear Ray K and Friends event. This is a guy, you know the story, worked in a water heater factory before making it.
Blue-collar hero. And still grinding. Monday qualifying 4 times out of 5 recently. That's just incredible persistence at that age. For anyone listening who doesn't know, Monday qualifiers are like a lottery one day. Tons of players, maybe 2 or 4 spots.
Yeah.
Doing it that often. Amazing.
Truly is. Shows the fire's still there.
Absolutely. And over on the LPGA.
Youmin Hwang. Maiden win at the LOTTE Championship. Finish 18 under and talk about clutch 5 birdies in the last 6 holes to seal it. Wow, that's closing in style. Serious poise. Although we should probably mention there were some concerns around that event too, right? Withdrawals.
Yeah, a couple of key players pulling out back-to-back. You sometimes see that, and it raises questions about scheduling, player fatigue. The demands of the tour are intense. It's just something to keep an eye on.
Always a factor. Okay, and looking forward, the next generation.
Oh, the pipeline looks strong. There's an 18-year-old, Blades Brown, making waves on the Korn Ferry Tour.
Blades Brown, great name.
Isn't it? And firing crazy low scores. We're talking 60, 61, 63, a couple of 64s. People are already making comparisons to guys like Ludwig Oberg or Jordan Spieth when they came out. Real excitement around them.
You love to see that raw talent coming through, but inevitably we swing back to the politics, the structure, the official world golf ranking points.
Yep, the OWGR issue isn't going away. Live Golf has apparently resubmitted their application for points.
Which they need, right, for their players to easily qualify for majors.
Exactly. Players like Bryson DeChambeau, others who joined IV, they're sliding down the world rankings because most Levy events don't offer points currently. It directly impacts their eligibility for the majors, which are still the pinnacle. Joaquin Youmin was quoted urging the OWGR to do the right thing for golf.
So that fight continues. It really dictates who plays where on the biggest stages.
It underlines everything, really.
So wrapping this all up, what a week reflected in these sources. You've got this massive contrast, haven't you? The absolute lows, the apologies, the fan behavior, the talk of mismanagement, those huge LEV losses.
And then the absolute highs. Gainey's comeback, MacIntyre winning at home after the Ryder Cup, Fisk's breakthrough after years of struggle. The purity of the sport is still right there.
But it exists alongside this increasingly volatile corporate and political battle. Management failures being exposed, huge money being spent, maybe unsustainably. The whole system feels stretched.
Fundamentally stressed, yeah, that's the word.
Which leaves us and you, the listener, with this final thought to chew on. We saw players ready to stop play over fan abuse. We saw the president of the host organization singing karaoke during a crisis. We saw that poll saying 87% of fans were unhappy with player treatment. So, given the money involved to clear management issues, is the Ryder Cup's current structure, owned by a nonprofit, actually sustainable? Or is that negative reaction combined with the pressure going to force a change, maybe selling or licensing the event to ensure it can be run properly on that global scale? That seems to be the big question hanging over the future of golf right now. Thanks for diving deep with us. We'll catch you next time.